Hello, the Astroflower Collective. How you doing? Welcome to the Lionsgate reading. This weird energy that's coming through. I'd just like to show you something before we start. There has been an X-flare that's gone off on the sun, and in fact, there's two CMEs, so coronal massive ejections, basically. Not necessarily heading our way, but it's a side swipe. And I don't think the Earth can put up with much more than that, simply because we've had aurora borealises that have been heading south. Now that's all to do with pole shift energy. And this is what you need to take into account when you're looking at these changing times in energy. You've really got to know about how energy works so you can fit yourself in a rightful position according to the vibrations that's coming through. And they've been really funny vibrations. Very, very funny vibrations. So yeah, just take that into account, because that's going to be hitting Earth, or side swiping Earth, on the 8th, tomorrow. The Lion's Gate, you know. And I did another reading on I did another thing on the X-flare that was opening up the gate. You could almost hear like the keys being turned, and you know, the door going as it gradually opens. And so this is what's coming through, and it's lucky it's not really directed at the Earth, but it's going to change the vibration, there is no doubt about it. And this is all about manifestation, the Lion's Gate. So knowing what you want to do going forward is really important, having a very clear vision of it. And there's no point in having a clear vision sort of saying, I just want to be rich, you know, because it's not precise enough. And I think we also need to engage ourselves in, there's loads of dragonflies around here. I'm on the edge of a river. There's a river just running behind me there, and there's just loads and loads of dragonflies. Libelus, as they call them in French, which I think is a really nice name, but I prefer the idea of a flying dragon. How fantastic is that a name? Yes, sorry about that, bit of a digression. So yeah, being precise about what you want to manifest is really important. You know, and connecting it with the world around you, being you know, reaching for the stars, but being realistic about it. You know, it's a fine line. It's a fine line, and this is all going to be about the manifestation. So we've got the overall energies here for this Lion Gate. We got the karmic mission on our relationship or emotional sort of side. Karmic mission on our material sort of side, jobs, business, money, that sort of thing, and also the Earth and the geological sort of conditions, how the universe is influencing us. And then we're going to have sort of what's been leading up to us, or the negative, in a way, the negative and the positives out of the manifestation. Excuse me. Negative and the positive out of the manifestation. And then the top one's going to be about that super moon at the end of August, and just to sort of see how this sort of pans out for us, really, more than anything else. So let's just without further ado, I hope you all have a lovely reading, and let's just see what's going on with the overall energy. The High Priestess, yeah, the clarification of inner vision. This is what the overall energy is all about. And this is what I was talking about. You need to be clear about it. So if I'm sort of saying, if I want to be rich, that's all very well. But what do I want to do in order to get rich? You know, I don't particularly want to, you know, I want to be enabled, I want finances to enable me to do things and sort of help the world sort of like explore the possibilities that we have. I think that's a really noble art, if anyone's got any finances to do that. But then, so how am I going to do that? So I do that with my healing, I do that with this channel, and my workshops and so forth. And so being very clear about that path there of what I'm actually doing will inadvertently, you know, sort of bring in finances and rewards to me. So, you know, I'm not focusing on the financial side, I'm focusing on what I can create and how I can, you know, instigate that creation with the world that is around me. And that's what that's all about. And it's a series of phase of moons. Look, you've got one moon at the beginning, you've got the full moon at the top, and you've got the two other moons on the side. So You know, it's all about understanding this and going through this process, and using our inner visions in order to get the best out of the situation, basically. Let's see what our karmic mission is for us collectively on our emotional sort of side. Let's see what that is about. Playing smart. Yeah, I think that's a really good idea, playing smart. Playing smart is basically forethinking within your emotions and your relationships to avoid situations that could be destructive. That is what the thinking smart is about. So if you can see a situation arising, and this is where energy plays a really good role, and I teach this on my workshops, so we connect the energy to our body. So then when you can see a situation that is can be detrimental or destructive in the future, you sit down for 2 minutes, you get in line with yourself, and then you see how it fits within your solar plexus. And that point there, you connect it to the energy around you, and I know what I have to do. A very simple thing, and this is what this is tying into this as well. Very simple information. You don't need big information. You don't need the complete story. You just need to find out how to approach it more than anything else. You know, and nothing is perfect, and you can't guarantee what other people are going to be like, and etc. So knowing this is really, really important. How's the universe influencing this Lion's Gate? Obviously quite a lot, as we've seen with those solar flares, because that vibration comes in from the universe. It affects the sun then erupts, and it has it ebbs and flows, the sun, in its solar cycles, and we're in the height of a solar cycle, got to be said. So then it affects the Earth, and then that Earth then affects you. So let's just see how it is going there. Happiness after difficulty. But also, the reason these people are happy is because they've come out of that rain, and the rain is behind them, and the sun is reflecting in the raindrops in order to create a rainbow. They're going through the rainbow, going through the rain, in order to get to the reality, the true way of being. And I think this is what the universe is trying to encourage us to do. If you're looking to manifest, and what the universe is trying to manifest through the Lion's Gate, because it's all about manifestation, the manifestation of the universe is trying to sit a situation or create a situation where we can see things for what they really are. So we do not live in a world of illusion anymore. And once we can see things for what they are, that's when we can really start building stuff. That's when we can really start evolving. You know, that's when we can empower each and every single one of us to be part of it. And I think being part of the evolution and being part of this manifestation is really, really, really important. I'm trying to sort out a video at the moment for Cymatic TV, my sister channel, because I'm going to be bringing the energy back into Cymatic TV in September. So I'm trying to do a video talking about exactly this sort of thing and how we can affect not only the Earth but the solar system maybe. It's an interesting thing through the universal vibration. So let's have a look at sort of what is the negative side of this sort of thing. 9 of Pentacles, not really negative, it's actually really positive. And I think this is where is basically we have a lot of attributes. We have a lot of possibilities. We have a lot of fruit that we have developed. If you think about what's happened over the last 100 years and what the human race has been through in the last 100 years, we should have learned an extraordinary amount of information of how to get along with one another as collectives, as sort of individual sort of governance systems. And we need to take that on board and engage in that in a way that is much more productive, much more liberating, and much more engaging in our proper future. And I think this is the negative side, that sometimes all those possibilities can be used against us as a collective for you know, for agendas that may be, you know, may be harmful to the collective human species or the environment, this beautiful place we call planet Earth. You know, and I think we need to get our head around that a lot of things that are being pushed upon the human race has an agenda behind it, and that's always the case. Regardless, it's always going to be the case. I have an agenda. I have an agenda for, you know, so the human race can find that consciousness within them and to start acting accordingly. I think it's going to be brilliant once we do. So we have to be careful that, you know, we're not emotionally pulled into the manifestations that are using the beautiful gifts that we have within energy in a negative sense. You know, should be looking to creation rather than destruction, basically, I think, more than anything else. Let's see what's on the positive side of things. The star. I'm wishing on a star to find out where you are. Had that on my mind. I was trying to find another song to do with star. If you know another star song, leave it in the comments below. Yeah, I think this is what I'm talking about, where you, using this intuition, we can actually grasp on this dreams and aspirations, the ultimate goal of interaction between collective human entities, and we do this on an individual basis. So how do I affect this as a personal person? You know, I can't just go to the UN and sort of say, right, you guys that are fighting, stop it. You know what I mean? This is what you got to do. That ain't going to be happening unless I'm sort of, you know, unless I was 13 maybe, they might let me in. But, you know, if I can do it otherwise. I can do it by walking down the road, and in London, for example, and I love London, I really do, born there, raised there, and I do love London. And you can do it in New York, you can do it in, you know, in sort of Dallas, in sort of Seattle, you can do it in sort of, you know, down in Florida, you know, wherever you are. If you're walking past someone and you connect eyes like that, say, all right, how you doing? Hope you have a lovely day. And genuinely mean it. You know, that is enough to start the ball rolling. I don't know if you've seen those videos of of dominoes, where you start with a small domino and you push the first domino and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and eventually you knock over a massive, massive domino. You know, let's make it like that. Let's do it like that. You know, let's make the change on a very simple scale. You know, and do not get diverted by it. So, you know, keep that idea of the ideal within your heart, within you as a being, but understand in this part here how it gets converted into reality within the reality that is surrounding you. You know, so you know, start at a very simple basis, but keep the ideal, the ultimate goal in your heart. I think it's a really admirable thing to do, you know, and it's the biggest help that you can give to the human race. Let's just see what's going on with that super moon at the end. That's the end of August, so that's sort of like, we almost have like the Lion Gates opens on the 8th, and it almost feels like that during this period here we can do this manifestation, and then when it comes to the 30th of August with the supermoon, it's sort of as if to sort of say, right now, okay, let's start manifesting it. And it's like a changing period in time. Yeah, and this is where, you know, you got the Six of Swords. This is where the universal vibration then kicks in to help you get to calmer shores, to help you get to where and what you want to be manifesting within your life as a personal person, but within our lives as a collective. It's now activating this, which is really beautiful. And playing smart this is what I'm talking about, playing smart. Playing smart is smiling at that person, saying hello, diffusing a situation before it actually happens. So being nice to one another, you don't have to go out your way and sort of help, you can go out your way and help people, obviously, but I mean, it's not through big things that I think we're going to change it. I think it's through a mass little things. So engage in it, people, and I think it's going to make your life a lot better, bizarrely enough. And the more you do it, the better your life gets. And once your life starts getting better, then that's when people are going to start turning around and kind of going, wow, look at them. They're really happy in life. Why are they happy? They keep saying hello to people. Maybe that's what it is. I'll start doing that. Use those resources in a really good way. Certain media outlets that are TT, I think, are highly detrimental, because we're locking on to really detrimental rhythms or gifts of that sort of that media platform. That media platform could be absolutely brilliant, but I think it's much more detrimental than anything else, and we've got to understand that. Don't make money your goal, man. Don't make money your goal. Let's just see what's going on the material side. Our karmic mission is here, carrying too much. Maybe trying to do too much. This planet and this solar system's been around for a long time, and a lot longer than we think, actually. And I'll explain that on Cymatic TV in September with this video that I'm creating, which is going to blow your mind, I hope, But I think this is where we're trying too hard, I think, more than anything else. And I think the karmic message here is sort of saying, relax, don't try too hard. Nature knows what she's doing. I have complete and utter confidence in what she's doing. She doesn't need our interaction. I'm sorry to say this, but planet Earth does not need saving, in my opinion. It's only my opinion. It's just me, little old me. My opinion. I think she knows exactly what she's doing. I think we discover plastics as almost in a way as a sort of like antibodies to sort of calm us down a little bit, to sort of say, whoa. You got to realise these resources, you've got to use them wisely. That sort of thing. I think she knows exactly what she's doing, and I think this lovely stream that I see running around me here. Will be here way after humans are no longer here. I think we've got to put things in perspective here. I don't think the planet needs saving. I think human species doesn't need saving. It needs to stand up and grow up, basically. I think more than anything else. Grow up in a sense that take responsibility. Still have fun and be a kid. Yeah, I really admire that. But at the same time, be a bit responsible about what you're doing here and how you're trying to contribute to the future generations, basically. Because, we are not doing them any favours by selling them pipe dreams and ideologies that are just completely out of whack with nature. That's... and that you could look at that in technology, you could look at that in social, you could look at that in financially. There's a lot of ways in which we could really do a lot better. So maybe it's a case of not trying too hard, not trying to save everything, and actually really just engaging in the life that is around us. Let's see how the universe is influencing us. Look to the future and not the past. I don't think the universe is looking for justice, in a way, about past wrongdoings by the human race, by the collective. That's what I think. I think it's sort of saying to us, look at the stuff you've done in the past, those 3 of cups there, yeah, they are spent. The universe is sort of saying, that's fine, that's good, that's okay, that's good, that's what you're supposed to do. But did you learn your lesson? And if we didn't learn the lesson and we're not acting as if we've learned the lesson, that is the problem. Yeah? And I think the universe here is sort of saying, you know, it's trying to offer us that cup there. It's trying to offer us that love and that lightheartedness in a way. And I think this is where we're trying too hard, I think, more than anything else. Let's just see what's going on the negative side of it. I just want to tune in and see if there's anything coming up from that sort of side. Because that's what I think it's mainly going to be heading on the manifestation. Look at this. On this side we get the 9 of Cups, 9 of Pentacles. And this is where we get the 10 of Pentacles. This is almost like... we pay our taxes, right? Everybody sort of pays taxes, you know. But where are your taxes being spent? And what is it being spent on? We have a huge amount of abundance. And I've got a funny feeling that abundance is actually being used against the collective. That's how I feel about it. And I think it's about time that we sort of like, questioned a lot of things of where our, finances are going. We've all heard sort of situations where big, massive charities are taking money and not really doing what we thought they were doing. It didn't really sort of do what it said on the tin. It's that sort of sensation I'm getting out of that 10 of Cups. And realizing that this abundance that we have within us needs to be redirected in a very positive way than a negative way. What's the positive to come out of this? Learning. Going from the 10 of Wands to the 9 of Wands. 9 of Wands is following our path, with a passion, leaving those 8 of Wands behind, which are messages, information, communication, which stops us from repeating things in the past. I think here is sort of saying we have all the information that we need in order to get the best out of life. And we need to start applying it. We need to learn that it's okay to say no. It's not, just because you say no doesn't mean you're the nastiest person in the world or in the universe. When you don't agree with something and you say, no, actually I don't agree with that, and they can shout, people can shout and sort of, saying, oh, you're a bad person. When kind of go, well, that's your judgment. And personally, you're not here to judge me. I'm here to judge me. Look at what you do with your hands, right? Because you're the only one who can see exactly what you do with your hands. That's what the judgment's all about. So I would just say, I think this is a moment of realization, this Lion's Gate. It's a very good moment to realize if we're being conned or if someone's, grifting us, as they might say in America, I think. Is that what it is? Conning us, lying to us and stuff like that. And using our own force against us. And I think that's what we need to sort of realize. If we do realize that, how is this universe, how's this vibration going to help us? How's this supermoon going to help us? Change of fortune. I totally agree with that. Change of fortune. I think we have everything we need in order to make this world absolutely amazing. We have an opportunity here to show the universe that the human species is way ahead of the curve. Is that we are ready to take our rightful place within the kingdom, as it were. I really do. I really do. You know when, when there was that famine in Ethiopia in the 1980s and stuff like that. Do you remember that? For those of you, I remember it as a kid. And I even went to the Zimbabwe embassy to sort of say, look, I reckon I can help. I was only 20 when I did that. It was quite funny. It was a very interesting meeting because they'd done that transition between, when Mugabe took over and Bob Marley had done that album, Zimbabwe. That song, Zimbabwe. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much, Bob. You're an absolute star. I loved you, mate. And I sort of kind of saying, well, this is my thinking as a kid. I was only a kid at the time, a youngish man. And I was sort of saying to myself, well, giving seed and grain and everything like that is all very well. That's a stopgap. It's sort of like, fills the hole up at the moment. But, if we considered, and we were being taught at school that I was living in a developed country, yeah, and then you had the second world, and then the third world, and the third world needed helping, and kind of going, well, in that case, the third world needs to go through the same development that the developed countries have been through, and I don't see many sort of, industries setting up in Africa, which is an absolute shame, because I reckon. I went to Africa, I went to Kenya and everything like that, and I've been to Morocco. I really do love Africa. Beautiful place, beautiful people, and they're so innovative. They can turn something that you think that's a pile of crap into something that's amazing, that works. And they're so ingenuitive, I think, and it's a shame that big businesses don't invest invest in Africa in that sort of sense, and this is what I'm saying, that we have all the resources, and it could be absolutely brilliant, really could. It could be absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much. We're going to be clarifying with the Light Seers card. Thank you very much for being here, showing your support for this channel, subscribing, sharing. Now that is really important, apparently. I'm really getting to understand that that's really helping the channel, sharing this across all media platforms. Trying to get the message out there is really important. So yeah, anything you do in that sort of front is beautiful. Any way in which you want to show your appreciation through the YouTube algorithm, that's liking, sharing, subscribing and all of that. Yeah, be absolutely brilliant. There are links in the description below where you can have a private reading with my good self or a healing session with my good self. There's also an email, because I'm going to be doing workshops in the UK, energy workshops, how to connect yourself to energy and get involved in the universal conversation through your entire body, through your energy system, your chakra system, in the UK in September, October, and I'm going to be doing it in the United States in October and November. If you want to be part of it, just drop me an email. Tell me where you are in the world, how far you'd like to travel, or willing to travel. So then I can sort out some locations and dates, and they will be coming out very shortly. So I will be fixing dates and places very soon. So just drop us an email. That would be really good if you want to be part of those workshops. Whew. Let's get on with the clarification, shall we? Okay, High Priestess. He just popped out early on, and I just did a quick shuffle, and he still popped out. Okay, well, using this inner vision in order to get something concrete in action. And it's medium-term plans here. It's opening up the pathway which connects that idea of what we would like to manifest into actually manifesting it. And I think that's really important, and understanding that. It's a very lucky card as well, the Page of Pentacles. It's opening up the pathway. Really is opening up that pathway to allow that manifestation to happen. And we do that with the actions that we have on a daily basis. Okay, what's going on with the karmic mission there, on there, playing smart? When you know, this is a beautiful, it's one of my favorite cards in the deck, the Hierophant. It's a teacher, but it's someone who's learned the spiritual attributes on a very physical sense, which is the notion to get to that star, to get to that card there. Okay, and those stairs, those steps, each step is an understanding within the Hierophant that he knows it, that they know what to do in order to get there. And learning that or understanding that within you, knowing how you can manifest a beautiful future through the little actions you do. Look at him, he's smiling like a trooper, right? And he's really as happy as anything. And he's gone through that sort of, it's almost like a trilogy of learning. And I talk about that in the energy workshops, the left and right hand rule, vertical energy, horizontal energy, and directional energy. That's what the energy is all about, really. The trilogy, pyramids, and all of that. So this is how what playing smart is, putting it into action. With the 10 of Cups, say goodbye to disappointment. I think this is the universe. This disappointment comes from illusion. And how we have deluded ourselves about certain aspects of life, and it is blurring the reality, and the universe is bringing it in. So true reality comes back. This common sense, this logical evolution that I was talking about for a long time. I haven't talked about it for quite a while because I think it's here. This logical evolution is going to be really important. Say goodbye to disappointment and say hello to reality, basically. On the negative side, yes, I think there is a certain degree of fighting. It's like sort of saying the resources we had in social media, in communication and everything like that is really, really powerful. But everyone's fighting to be the one, and I don't get it. I don't get it. I love singing, but I'm not going to take anything away from Freddie Mercury, who has an amazing, amazing voice, or Billie Holiday, who I think, I'm just naming my favourite singers. Modern day singers, who would I say in the modern day singers who's got a lovely voice? I don't know. You tell me in the description below. But this is what it is. Rather than struggling to be better than the other person, and that's what our problems are, why not struggle to be the best example of yourself? It just seems so logical to me. It just seems so normal. Maybe I'm getting it wrong. Maybe I should put on a persona to sort of like kind of go, hey, start burning candles and throwing crystals all over the place. I think crystals, and I know a lot of people like crystals, and they are very, very powerful things. I'm not taking anything away from them at all. But, I'm a very simple kind of guy, and I don't work with crystals because I think crystals are best served if you leave them in the earth. Because the earth knows what she's doing with those crystals. Really knows what she's doing with those crystals. And if they're left in the same place, then that concentrates energy on the earth, so we can actually use that energy collectively in a much, much better way. So I do understand crystals, and I do understand that it does affect people and stuff like that, and I do understand the benefits of it all and everything like that. But there is something to be said to leaving them in the earth. That's my own personal point of view. I'm sure someone who works with crystals is going to be able to educate me or enlighten me even more about the wonderful work that crystals can do. I speak to stones all the time, you know what I mean? But it's like Stonehenge, or Avebury Circle. Imagine if I kind of went, well, actually, I'd like one of those stones, and I'll bring that stone and I'm going to put it back in my garden. It's going to break that circle of stones. And collectively, we can't use it anymore. Do you know what I mean? I don't know, maybe, I'm a little bit simple like that, a little bit basic, but, I think it's a good idea. But anyway, You know, just being the best example of yourself, basically. Let's just see what's going on with the star card. What is these stars and aspirations? 7 of Pentacles. Yes, nurturing this path, nurturing that page of Pentacles here. And 7 is for me is a number of revelation. It's a bit like the pentacle is a shape of magic, because it's a perpetual sort of shape. But there you go. I've got the 7 one done. But 7 goes past that, goes past the creation of 6. So once you've created something, then it creates realizations, revelations. It reveals the information to you. And, you know, nurturing will reveal the ultimate dreams and aspirations for us all. With the 6 of Swords, we get the 9 of Wands, yet again, an absolute beautiful card here, because this is trusting. I think this is what comes back a lot as well. And it keeps coming up, actually. I've been wanting to say it quite a bit, but I haven't said it. It doesn't come through fully, because I think it's an undercurrent. I think it's trusting planet Earth, trusting the universal vibration, and trusting each other, and trusting nature. You know, I think that's really important. And I think the moon, the super moon, is kind of sort of like the universe sort of kind of putting their hand out and kind of going, trust me? What was that from? Wasn't it from Aladdin? You know, with, what's his name? Robin Williams. Absolutely brilliant movie. You know, whatever happened to Disney, man? You know, but anyway, you know, yeah, sort of trusting here. Trusting, I think, is really important. I think that's what comes back all the time. Trusting in your fellow human. Trusting in the nature that is around you. Trusting everything that is happening. And manifesting this sort of like beautiful stuff. Let's just see what's going on the material side. Yeah, trying too hard. Let go. Allow your heart to speak. Start creating things. Start creating something different. Don't depend upon sort of big governance in order to sort of like sort you out. Depend upon your neighbour, maybe, and your neighbour should be able to depend upon you. Seems pretty logical to me. Just stop trying so hard and actually start enjoying what we can create and what we're manifesting within the material world. What's the universe trying to influence us here on this whole sort of thing? Yes, enjoying the moment, getting invigorated by one thing at a time. Imposing or not imposing, engaging our passions in the future. I think that's what the universe is trying to sort of say. Don't look for reparations or justice from the past. The past is, as horrible as it may well be or has been, it has served, you know, the only thing we should really take from it is sort of kind of going, shouldn't really do that again. That's really not a good idea. That whole sort of like, you know, sort of knocking hell bells out of each other and you know, it is not a good idea. Let's not do that again. You know, let's treat each other with a little bit of respect, which we didn't do in the past. Fine, fair enough. Now let's go ahead and do it. You know, I think that's what it's all about. Okay, with the 10 of Pentacles, with the negative side of it all, yeah, I think this is the 7 of Wands. So this is about sort of like, this is where the resources, I think, our resources are being channeled, and this is the 6 of Wands here, is being channeled into very few hands, basically. And I think the universe is that little stick there, as if to sort of say, hey, tick, tick, what are you doing? Share the love, man, share the love. You know, I think that's what it's all about. I think that's what that 10 of Pentacles, I think we're going to realise that actually, you know, that can be a really positive card as well. It's revelations as well. Just trying to see if there was we've got 2 5s and 2 7s now on the board here, which is quite funny. yeah, I think it's a realization that actually, you know, we need to share these resources in a very positive way, much more positive way. Yeah, okay. So we're not getting beaten down by our own resources, basically playing a bit smarter. Let's see what's going on with the Nine of Wands. We get the Queen of Swords. I think this is a direction. This is the positive thing. Okay, so taking that one there, taking our passions, using our past communication information to be a very good, healthy boundary so we don't repeat the same problems, and we take a direction. The Queen of Swords is taking a direction. It's not just through judgment that this is the direction. The Queen of Swords is kind of going, okay, I know what logically I need to do. I have control over my emotions, and therefore I'm going to do it. You know, that little heart there at the bottom there can be seen as being, you know, very, very cold in a way, cold-hearted. But within the material world, you have to be a very, you know, the material works on a lot of logic. You know, the emotional world works on a lot more sort of vibration, harmony, you know, that sort of thing. You know, I wouldn't say energy, but I would say interaction of vibration, harmonics. Whereas the material world works on sort of like the physical aspect, the placing of things, the interaction physically between things. And I think this is where we are taking a direction, a good direction that is, sort of built upon something that's logical. Yeah, it should be doing this. You know, it just seems stupid to sort of like throw my rubbish on the floor. That's not logical. You know, it's that sort of thing, if you know what I mean. Okay, what's this change of fortunes? I'm looking forward to this. This change of fortunes with the moon, the super moon at the end of that. We get the Page of Wands. So we got 2 pages, 2 queens, 2 sevens, 2 fives. Not bad. Opening up this change, getting passionate about this change, getting passionate about creating a much more fortunate world within us, exploring those passions, trying things out, creating a lot of things, I think is really, really important for us. And it's all about manifesting a future that corresponds to everybody and everything. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful reading. Now, I will be doing your individual readings. Tomorrow you will be having, we've got Earth and Water, that's on Tuesday, signs, and on Wednesday will be Fire and Air signs as well. And I'm going to be reading it off this reading. So I'm going to keep this reading here and then read, pull out some more cards from another pack to see how we as individuals or individual signs can interact with this energy that is around us. Okay? Woo. Thank you very much for being here. I do love doing these readings, really do. Do love them. Do love doing the collective and the overall energies, because I'm an energy guy. That's what I'm all about. The vibration, basically, more than anything else. Absolutely adore it. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for your support for this channel. Genuinely, it's beautiful to see you, beautiful to see your comments and everything like that. Can't wait to see a lot of you on the workshops, because there's been a huge response. It's been absolutely beautiful. Can't wait. It's going to be such fun. Yes, I guess in the meantime, don't forget, life should be fun. So please do share and enjoy life.